NBA Finals, Pacers Thunder, Game 3. I've now done a best bet video on every playoff game since the conference finals started. I'm currently 14-4 on those bets. I don't count player props towards any official long-term records, but if I did, I'd be like 18-5 if I included the props. So we've been doing all right. Hopefully can continue it here for Game 3, but it's getting tougher to find strong opinions the deeper the series goes. Everything's known about these matchups. We've seen everything we're going to see besides the occasional outlier performances that will happen but are almost impossible to predict. But it's not going to stop us from trying here. So here in Game 3, at first glance, it looks like a big adjustment. OKC goes from double-digit favorites down to favorites of 5 or 5.5. But technically, this number hasn't adjusted enough. And how we know this is by simply looking at how Game 1 and 2 were priced in OKC. Game 1, OKC, 10.5-point favorites. Game 2, 11.5-point favorites. So let's call OKC minus 11 at home. We know home court is worth 3.5 or 4 points in the playoffs. So OKC minus 11 is the odds maker saying OKC is 7 or 7.5 points better on a neutral court if neither team was at home. But now with the Pacers at home, they would get the home court bump of 3.5 to 4 points, which would make them plus 3.5 or plus 4. But we're seeing them at plus 5 or plus 5.5, which is interesting when you consider the zigzag theory we've seen all playoffs where teams off a loss, they're the ones with the inflated price, but it's OKC who's off a win with the inflated price here. OKC hasn't covered a single game on the road in the playoffs. They've also been a favorite on the road in every game by like an average of 7.5 points. Now, if you've been following along with these videos, you know I bet OKC in the series minus 300 after they lost Game 1. And like many people, I think OKC is much better, but not sure I can lay the 5.5. Even though if OKC wins, it's much more likely they cover the spread too. And the same goes for the Pacers. If you like them plus 5.5, you should probably bet them on the money line a little bit as well. If the Pacers were in this spot down 0-2, I'd side with them, no question here, and definitely in the first half. And, you know, the total's tricky too because we've seen two different paces in both games' first halves compared to the second half. Slower paced first half, then it's sped up in the second half. But I think the Pacers may have kind of learned their lesson or realized they can't get caught up in a slower paced game and they have to run all 4 quarters. But I'm stuck on the side, and because I think the side and total are heavily correlated, I'm stuck on the total too. But I wouldn't be doing this video if I didn't have a bet to give out. So I got to play a prop, I bet. I think we see Pascal Siakam bounce back here at home. He was only 3 for 11 shooting last game and still had 15 points because he was getting to the foul line. He only played 29 minutes too. I bet his over points. Think he shoots a little better at home, and as long as he gets his normal minutes, assuming it's not like a blowout or something, he should get to 20 points. And, you know, one thing worth mentioning to be careful looking at player props, especially on these like secondary players on each team, because home road splits actually matter. Role players tend to perform much better at home than on the road. Like a guy like Lou Dort, his home versus away numbers show roughly an 8% shooting percentage difference, and he's almost making like 1.5 more threes at home compared to when he's on the road. I'm tempted to play Halliburton overs. I think the Pacers know they have to get him going right out the gate early and often. I never like betting unders on any players who are like the primary options on teams, but SGA has been a little off in Game 3s. He failed to go over 20 points in 2 of the 3 Game 3s already. Never bet his under points, but I'm definitely not looking at his over points here in Game 3, especially when he should be drawing a lot of the attention from Indy. But I'm going to stop here. Wish I had a stronger opinion for you guys, but I don't bet sports for content. I actually bet sports for money. It's all I've ever done, and I'll never force a bet just so I can make a video on it. Any bet I give out here, I'm actually betting for real money, and I'm not interested in making the job easy for the sports books by firing in bets I'm not confident in. In fact, I'd have no problem not placing a single bet in one of these games, but for now, I got Siakam over 19.5 points. Good luck if you followed along there, and if you've watched till this point, thank you. I really do appreciate you guys. Until next time, good luck with your bets.